You're watching ABC4 News, celebrating 75 years.
On Holocaust Remembrance Day, a bipartisan group of lawmakers on Capitol Hill pushing for legislation to ensure future generations are taught about the Holocaust.
Washington correspondent Anna Warnicki reports on the legislation and why the push is personal to several lawmakers.
On this day 78 years ago, thousands of prisoners were set free from the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp. Today on Capitol Hill, lawmakers say they want to make sure that the memories and the stories of Holocaust survivors are not lost in the generations to come. On the 78th anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp, New Jersey Republican Congressman Tom Keene says we must remember the millions of prisoners who never made it out.
We have to make sure that the children of our nation are being taught about the darkest times in our history.
Keene and a bipartisan group of lawmakers introduced the Holocaust Education and Anti-Semitism Lessons, or HEAL Act. The bill would require the Department of Education and the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum to evaluate what's taught about that history in public elementary and secondary schools.
Basically, it's an audit to understand what's going on so that we can address the issue.
New Jersey Democrat Josh Gottheimer says the study would identify states and local educational agencies that don't require Holocaust education and the quality of the education in those that do.
So that we as a Congress can come back, look at that information, and try to make some decisions of how we can help ensure that across the country our children learn.
This is critical legislation.
Florida Democrat Debbie Wasserman Schultz says only a handful of survivors are still alive. She says the federal government has an obligation to ensure that future generations never forget.
To grow up understanding that never again is absolutely a critical thing that they need to absorb in their hearts.
Today, the second gentleman was in Poland visiting the site of the former Nazi concentration camp Auschwitz-Birkenau to remember the victims and honor the survivors. For now, in Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki. Back to you.
Thank you, Anna. Well, footage of the attack on former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband has been released to the public today. In the surveillance footage, David DePape is seen swinging a hammer at Pelosi's head. Paul Pelosi was knocked unconscious, later undergoing surgery to repair a skull fracture and serious injuries to his right arm and hands. DePape charged with attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon. He's also facing state and federal charges, including elder abuse, first-degree residential burglary, and false imprisonment, and threatening a family member of a public official. If convicted, he faces life in prison and has pled not guilty.
A truck driver happy to be alive after being struck by lightning during a storm in Texas. Dell Dean saying his workday started just like any other until that happened. Dean's truck got stuck in the mud during a severe storm. When he went to attach a skidder to his tow, lightning hit. The only thing on Dean's mind at that time, his family.
All that flashed through my mind that, man, you're not going to be able to do this no more. I kind of tear up when I talk about it like that.
Wow, his partner calling their supervisor for help, transporting Dean to the hospital. Dean calling his wife on the way. Once they both arrived, doctors stunned to see Dean walking, saying since the lightning traveled through his body, he should have had a heart attack. Now, according to the CDC, the odds of being struck by lightning in any given year are 1 in a million. Dean saying he's blessed to have survived.
Time now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Alana Brophy. Weather rates certified 11 years in a row.
All right, these are the stories that make you think, okay, he lived that, but I'm going to take the message and be really grateful for all of you, for my family.
Yes.
Living grateful right now.
An amazing story.
Yes. Yes.
Glad he was okay. I mean, that's what it comes down. That's just unbelievable, and that is frightening. And you know, lightning is one of Utah's deadliest weather killers. So we've got to be really careful, especially when we get to the high peaks. But we're not talking about lightning tonight. No, we're talking about snow because we've got another storm and active skies setting up for the weekend. Live shot from Logan. This is at 700 North, and the snow continues to come down. It's very fine. It's light, but it's continued. And actually, Cache Valley woke up to accumulating snow. As we take a look at the storm tracker radar, it shows there's the southern portion of Cache Valley as well as Weber County and now into Davis County and Salt Lake County. That's where we are seeing showers at this hour. Temperatures staying warmer in and around Salt Lake for some mixed precipitation as well as just rain. But we know as those numbers get colder, We'll see snow. Okay, impacts heavy mountain road snow through noon tomorrow, and we expect that over towards I-80 in Evanston, so a heads up there. But every area that's really under that winter weather advisory will likely see some accumulation. And then you see the yellow there, that's road slush. Southern Utah staying dry. They get a mix of sun and clouds, so really not bad. But tonight, they do have some patchy fog, and it's near that I-70 corridor towards Beaver County, in and around Loa and Panguitch. Some fog has settled in, not a surprise. We've seen that. We've got low-level moisture in place, and so we are not seeing it in the north as activity continues, but down there in central and southern Utah. High temperatures today made it to 40 in Salt Lake. That's pretty warm. Yeah, our northerly flow became more northwesterly, and so temperatures rose a little bit. Freezing in Moab. We were warmer in Salt Lake than Moab. 50 in St. George for those highs. Okay, let's take a look at where those showers are. It's going to be snow showers for tonight, the overnight, and then we start to see that moisture kind of sag a little further south, moving into central Utah, and can't rule out some snow showers down near Richfield, but Castle Country's part of that, as well as over in Duchesne and portions of Utah County. Through our Saturday, we will see a few clouds down in southern Utah and just a few lingering showers, even though that advisory expires at noon. It's just a brief break from activity, though, because as we roll into Sunday, a stronger system dips in from the Pacific Northwest. It's a cold system. The cold front is very organized, and we're looking at a statewide storm here that will bring the potential of accumulating snow. So we're going to see that along the Wasatch Front, and then it slides into southern Utah as we make it through Sunday night and into Monday morning. Okay, let's talk about how much we're expecting for this first round overnight tonight. Well, our mountains going to be the heavy hitters here. That includes the Uintas and the Wasatch. 6 to 14. I think the further south you go, the fewer totals you will see. So that's going to be on the low end near the 6-inch range, and then further north towards Beaver Mountain, looking at about 14 inches. Some areas could go higher than that. Mountain valleys on the backside of the Wasatch also going to get that accumulating snow, and valleys could see anywhere from 1 to 4. After the fronts move through and the snow is gone, guess what's left behind? Your favorite, the cold. Below average temperatures Monday into Tuesday with that northerly flow. The Arctic air comes in, and we get another cold snap that is going to impact us for days, folks. Ooh, it is chilly. You think these 30s are cold? Wait till next week. 36 in Salt Lake tomorrow, freezing in Price. Delta, Cedar City in the mid-30s, Vernal 22. They know what we're facing because they've been socked in for days. 51 in St. George. Here's a look at the 7-day in Washington County, where we do get breezy conditions by the end of the weekend, and then we've got rain turning to snow because of the timing of that storm Monday into Tuesday. That moves through northern Utah on Sunday, and that's why we have snow potential there. Now, then we get rid of the wet weather, and then it's like 21, 23. What is this, a club? No, no, we don't want that.
21 and over.
37 is going to be awesome, though.
It's going to feel like a heat wave. Pull out the shorts.
The bathing suits on, right?
Why not?